Paul Connolly. Now, you're the executive producer
Julian.
on a couple of series I made for BBC Studios, and you're actually fantastic exec producer, one of my favorite execs of all time. You're so supportive and helpful. Now, some people talk about imposter syndrome in television, where folks feel out of their depth or not up to a certain job. What are your thoughts on that, and any advice for people who do feel that?
Okay, my advice to imposter syndrome is just know one thing, that everyone is winging it. Every single person, from the very bottom to the very top, and I'm talking the very top. I'm talking commissioner level, channel control, where everyone's winging it. And by that, I don't mean they're fraudsters or they are genuine imposters. I just mean that you just have to, you have to jump in, and you just have to know that we're in an industry where we're not totally in control of everything. We don't know everything. We don't know how the viewers will react. We don't know when we turn up if we'll have a good day's filming or not. But at some point, you have to just trust yourself and sort of back yourself. So I tend to think that everyone's an imposter, and you've just got to relish that and become one of them.
Brilliant, wise words. Now, what advice would you give people hoping to break into the media industries?
Okay, I think it's getting, I'd say you should just really want to do it. That would be that's the first thing. You've got to want to do it, because especially now, to establish yourself, it's really difficult, So if you don't want it, you're going to find it tough. But if you want it, I would say absolutely go for it. My advice would be that everyone's, there's always room for good people.
Brilliant, brilliant. What are the common mistakes people make when trying to start a career in telly?
I think the most common mistake is people think that because they are creative, that is an automatic, that's an automatic sort of go straight to the front of the queue pass. And, in my experience, being creative is just one of the weapons you need in your arsenal. You also need, or you especially need, hard work, tenacity, a willingness to go the extra mile, perseverance, all those basics. And so, it's the old adage, isn't it? It's 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. And the common mistake, I think, is people think, hey, I'm funny, or I'm a creative genius. That should be enough to get me by, and I don't have to work hard. You will have to work hard. And it's often very much when you're our age, Julian, that you get a chance to fully show your genius.
Now then, you'll have done a lot of media job interviews in your time, both being interviewed, but certainly interviewing people for your teams as an exec and as a series producer. Yeah. What tips do you have when it comes to being interviewed for a media job?
I think the one thing I always look for, and one thing I've always tried to be when I'm being interviewed, is, be enthusiastic, because no one can question that. If people see real enthusiasm in your application or your presentation, then it's very hard to be cynical about that. You can be cynical about everything. People always say they can do this and that, and they're, they've got this and that skills, blah, blah, blah. But, that remains to be seen. But, you can really, really see in an interview enthusiasm, passion, sense of humor. And, people just, you want to work with people who you think might be good to get on with. So I would say any interview, go in and really treat it as a chance. Don't treat it as an exam. It's not an exam. Go in and treat it like it is genuinely a chance to have a one-on-one, to sell yourself and to find out more about the company and the job.
Now, you've worked your way up from production trainee through researcher, associate producer, all the way up to exec status, which is getting towards the top. What advice would you have for people when it comes to that career progression? how to get on once you're in?
Okay, I mean, luck's a really big part of it. You know, luck's a really big part of it. So, you know, that's something you can't control. So the one thing I would say is, and people might not want to hear this, but always take a credit before thinking about money. I have on numerous occasions leveraged a credit against you. You know, you can pay me 50 quid a week more and I will take the credit. And you know, you get the money on the other end, because once you get the credit, you can then sell yourself as that going forward, and then you get the money at the other end in the next job. But you know, the main thing is don't try and move up for money, because people will keep you at the same position forever. You know, at every stage I have said, just give me the credit, give me the responsibility, and I will show you I'm worth it. And then when you come to either move on or renegotiate your contract or get an extension, you can go, well, now you can say I'm an AP. Now you can say I'm a fully fledged PD. So, you know, if you want to keep me, you got to pay me.
Brilliant, brilliant, Bryce. Well, Paul Connolly, thank you so much again for all your help when you were my exec and I was just producing those shows.
I learned a lot more off you, Julian. I learned a lot more off you.
And thanks again for all your help this afternoon. It's much appreciated.
My pleasure, Julian.